ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar, my dear friend. This is video number 4 on Isha Upanishad. This video starts with stanza number 13. One thing they say is obtained from the worship of the manifested. Another they say from the worship of the unmanifested. Thus we have heard from the wise who taught us this. One thing, etc. As a result of worshipping Hiranyagarbha, the devotee obtains such supernatural powers as the ability to reduce himself to the size of an atom, to make himself light as a feather, and to pervade the entire universe. These are characteristics of Hiranyagarbha. Another, etc. According to the Puranas, the result of such worship is absorption in Prakriti. The scriptures say that whatever a person worships, he becomes after death. He who worships Prakriti, characterized by the nescience, remains merged in Prakriti for untold years, and he who worships Hiranyagarbha, who is only a manifestation of Prakriti, obtains a corresponding result. The harmonization of both is extolled. Verse number 14. He who knows that both the unmanifested Prakriti and the manifested Hiranyagarbha should be worshipped together overcomes death by the worship of Hiranyagarbha and obtains immortality through devotion to Prakriti. Manifested Hiranyagarbha. The word Vinasa in the text means destruction. Whatever is caused in liable is liable to destruction. Hiranyagarbha, the first individualized manifestation of Prakriti, is a caused entity, hence his destruction is inevitable. Overcome death, etc. That is to say, triumphs over the limitations of earthly life by the attainment of various supernatural powers through absorption in Hiranyagarbha. Immortality. The result of this worship is, as stated above, absorption in Prakriti. The devotee remains so merged till the next creation. The non-differentiated state of Prakriti between two creations endures for an untold number of years and is therefore described as immortality, though in a relative sense. The result of combining the two kinds of worship described in the text is first, the attainment of supernatural powers through devotion to Hiranyagarbha, and second, the attainment of immortality relative by merging in Prakriti. The attainment of this mortal immortality is the culmination of the efforts of a man or a god. It is the highest achievement in the relative universe. The highest result of the actions prescribed by the scriptures and performed with such material accessories as animals and gold, and also the knowledge of deities, is, as shown above, absorption in Prakriti. Here the life of samsara reaches its limit. But all this lies within the realm of relativity and is not the final liberation. The seeker of liberation follows the path of knowledge, renounces all desires, and contemplates Brahman. Thus the Vedas prescribe two paths, one characterized by action and the other by renunciation. It has been stated before that meditation on the deities combined with appropriate rituals enables one to enjoy relative immortality. The following verse describes a fervent deathbed prayer to the sun on the path of such a worshipper to help him realize his cherished desire. The door of the truth is covered by a golden disk. Open it, O nourisher, remove it, so that who have been worshipping the truth may behold it. Truth, referring to the manifestation of Brahma in the sun. The sun is often used as a symbol of Brahma. That which is truth is that sun. Here the sun includes earth, heaven and the interspace and is known also by the name of Verity. The sun is personified with earth, heaven and the interspace as its head, two arms and 2 feet. The worship prescribed in this and the following verses is the symbolic worship of Brahma through the sun. Covered, it is hidden from the view of people who are without self-control. Golden, luminous, nourisher. The sun's rays nourish the world. Verse number 16. O nourisher, lone traveler of the sky, controller, O sun, offspring of Prajapati, gather your rays, withdraw your light. I would see through your grace that form of yours which is the fairest. I am indeed He, that Purusha who dwells there. That form, etc. Referring to Brahma manifest through the symbol of the sun. I am indeed, etc. The devotee is not like a servant asking a favor. He is conscious of his identity with the deity. He, that is to say, the resplendent figure in the sun. Purusha, person. It also refers to the Godhead who lies in the hearts of all, or who fills the whole universe with life and consciousness. The prayer of the dying man continues. Verse number 17. Now may my breath return to the all-pervading immortal Prana. May this body be burnt to ashes. Om, O mind, remember all that I have done. Prana, cosmic life, another name of Brahma or Hiranyagarbha. May this body, etc. That is to say, may the subtle body, Linga Sarira, come out of the gross body. According to the Vedic seers, a subtle body dwells inside and pervades the gross body. The impressions of a man's good and evil deeds and thoughts remain embedded in this subtle body. The individual soul dwelling in this body experiences after death the happy or unhappy results of its actions. The gross body is destroyed after death, but the subtle body remains unimpaired till the attainment of liberation through knowledge. Om is a symbol of Brahma. It is used here as a symbol of the sun to show the identity of Brahma and the deity controlling the sun. The word Om is uttered at the beginning of a worship. Remember, that is to say, a man should think only of his good deeds at the time of death. The thought occupying the mind in the hour of death determines the course of the soul after death. An evil thought brings an evil result. And a good thought a good one. Therefore, the dying man should fill his mind with good thoughts alone. That is why the name and glories of God are chanted at the time of death. But it should be remembered that only he who leads a righteous life can, while dying, spontaneously and sincerely cherish good thoughts. Otherwise, the exhortations of priests or friends to lift the mind to a higher plane do not produce any result. The impressions of the thoughts and the actions of a whole life crowd into a man's mind when he is dying. My God. The dying man again prays for a higher course after death. Verse number 18. O fire, lead us by the good path for the enjoyment of the fruit of our action. You know, O God, all our deeds. Destroy our sin of deceit. We offer by words our salutation to you. Fire. During Vedic times, twice born householders worshipped fire and offered their oblations in it. Fire was considered as the intermediary god through whom oblations to the other gods were made. Good path, that is to say, the northern path traveling by which the departed soul attains by stages to liberation. The text refers to the devotee who has gone to heaven many a time by following the southern path and is satiated with it. Now he wants to follow the northern path which will not bring him back to earth again. Deeds. This also includes thoughts, destroy, etc. The devotee wants to acquire purity in order to attain his cherished goal. By words. At the time of death, the devotee cannot offer any other worship to the god. As his limbs become inert, he cannot prostrate himself, hence, the salutations through words alone. Following is adapted from Sankara's commentary. Verses 11 and 14 mention the result of devotion to ignorance, avidya, and Hiranyagarbha as death, and of devotion to knowledge, vidya, and the unmanifested prakriti as immortality, relative. Some take exception to our interpretation of these verses. We shall now try briefly to answer their objections. The objector asks why one should not by knowledge means the knowledge of the Supreme Self and by immortality the ultimate liberation. The Upanishad here explicitly lay down, they say, the injunction to pursue together the knowledge of the Supreme Self and ritualistic worship. The words of Scripture are the final authority. Though knowledge and ignorance, ritualistic worship are said to produce contradictory results, yet this objection cannot stand in view of the clear statement of the Upanishad referred to above. To this objection, we answer that knowledge and ignorance cannot by any means be reconciled because they are contradictory both as to their nature and as to their ultimate result. The cause of ignorance is false identification of Atma with the body and the rest, but true knowledge is completely different. The result of ignorance is entanglement in the world, and that of knowledge, liberation from the world. Therefore, they cannot be harmonized. It cannot be contended that knowledge and rituals may be pursued alternately. Because no sooner does a man attain self knowledge than his identification of the self with the body disappears. In that case, not even the slightest trace of ignorance can inhere in him. If one has known that it is the nature of fire to be luminous and hot, one can never often doubt this conclusion or form a different idea about fire's nature. The knower of the self is beyond doubt and delusion. For him, ignorance has been totally destroyed. Hence, he cannot practice any ritualistic action which, as we have repeated, is the result of ignorance. Therefore, in verse 9, the word Vidya does not refer to self knowledge but to knowledge of a deity. Had it not been so, the dying man would not have asked in verse 18 for a good path leading to immortality, for the knower of the self does not follow any path after giving up the body, nor does he go anywhere. He at once attains identity with the Supreme, attributeless Brahma. Hence, the word immortality mentioned in verses 11 and 14 does not mean ultimate liberation but means only a long life in heaven. For all these reasons, we think that our interpretation of the verses referred to above, namely the harmonization of ritualistic worship with the contemplation of a deity and not with the knowledge of the Supreme Self, is correct. The Isha Upanishad, according to Sankara's interpretation, states clearly the position of non-dualistic Vedanta with reference to Christianity, Judaism, Islam, popular Hinduism, and other faiths. These religions exhort their devotees to combine worship with the contemplation of a deity, the result being immortality in a heavenly world. Non-dualistic Vedanta accepts all this but points out that the immortality sought by this method is not the Vedantic liberation but a long life of happiness either in Brahmaloka or in a lower heaven. As we have said before, those who go to lower heavens return to earth after exhausting the results of their meritorious actions, and the fortunate dwellers in Brahmaloka attain five liberation after the completion of the cycle. So, along with this, Isha Upanishad is completed. The peace chant, Om, that is full, this is full, this fullness has been projected from that fullness. When this fullness merges in that fullness, all that remains is fullness. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you, my dear friends, for watching this video. After Isa Upanishad, I will give videos on Kena Upanishad. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Namaskar, my dear friends. Namaskar.